Aha! So, looks like I forgot to add myself to stage. Right, I'm going to add some music, I think. Um, I'm still learning this, so bear with me. I hope my volumes are all okay. Everyone hear me okay? See, I've only got the free version of StreamYard, so there's no much in the way of music. Um, let's see. I don't know. So, Tom, can you hear that music? I'm not sure how all this works, but we'll get there. We'll get there, people. We will. I really need to work out the backgrounds as well because it's not. It's not. Right, hold on. I'll turn the music up a little bit. I didn't want to have it too loud to begin with. Um, Let me know how that is. Let me know how that goes. Dragon Ranger. Hello. Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you doing? Hello, Rosside. Hello. How are you doing? All right. It's good to have you in. This was just a last minute um, catch up, if you like. I did put a post out the other day saying that I may go live. Sarah, hello, welcome in. Hopefully this time I'll be able to keep up with chat. I'll remember to read chat this time. Oh, Dragon Ranger, you still having issues with the phone company? Not so good. Crypt Walkers Portal, hello, welcome in, welcome. I want to try and get a catchphrase. I need to get a catchphrase. Something that will say SamHain's here. But we'll work on that. What about the music? Can everybody hear the music playing in the background? I don't even know if I've set it on loop. So it should go. Phone companies can be a pain. Like in the same way with all these companies trying to get anything out of them, try to get an answer, try to find somebody that's going to give you a voice rather than some automated system. It's an absolute nightmare. Everything these days is all press 1 for this, press 2 for that. It's all AI. It's everything taken over. Mystic Memo, hello, welcome in. But yeah, as I was saying, I need to find the catchphrase, especially if I'm going to do a few more lives. I think we'll need a catchphrase. So I have been working on some stories. It feels strange not kind of putting something out every week. But as I mentioned during the first live, I think it's going to be of benefit to all of us if I don't rush getting stories out. And I have been working on the first story for SamHain's Scotland. I almost had it done at the weekend and then came up with an addition to add to it. So I added a bit and then realised I didn't have any footage for that bit. So this whole world of going out and videoing something live, or not live, but going out and videoing some footage to get is new. So I got some great footage for the bulk of the story, but then adding this thing in yesterday didn't help my cause any. What can I do? So I was trying to find some stock footage, but there isn't really much out there. I could drive back out to Aberfoyle, and which is where this one is set, and get some more footage, but the rain and all that kind of stuff has hindered that. So I've got the bit I was adding in is at the start to give a bit more of a background about Aberfoyle, before going into the main story of the fairy tree, which is what this one's based on. So I there's a few things that I've mentioned in there, the kind of touristy part of Aberfoyle, that I would like to get some footage of that I never done the last time when I was out there last weekend, because it wasn't part of the original story. So hey, hey, this creator stuff is not as easy as folk make it look, I'll tell you. Um, yep. So that's a consideration. So I'm looking at that. So I've edited the audio together for the first part. It was only adding 4 minutes to it, but it was I felt it needed that bit more because it's more looking into the area the folklore comes from. So Aberfoyle is where the story about the fairy tree comes from, and I've got footage of the actual fairy tree, not the image that I've put into the um, that was in the original story, and I need to find a link for the end to put in to take you to the story, or potential new viewers uh, on the SamHain's Scotland channel, take them to the stories. So I'll find a way around that. I'm not quite sure how all that works yet. I'll find my way. I'll find my way, because I'm not sure if I can link my second channel to the main channel and vice versa. So I'm not sure. It might just need to be a visual card. I don't know if I can put in a link, or on the end screens. I don't know if I can then add on something to that, which will help. I was trying to figure out the music. The music stopped again, so I don't know what's happening. So until I can work all this out, I think I'll go without the music at the moment. But it's good to see everybody. Um, so having a wee look at the chat there, trying not to miss anything. See, I'm getting the hang of all this stuff. I was working it out earlier on after work. Um, I finished work early today. I had to jump out to. I had an appointment to go to, so when I came back, I was straight on getting the link sorted for this, and then trying to play about a bit more with Streamyard. Terry, hello, good to see you. Good to see you, Terry. Um, so things are progressing. Things are progressing. So again, if I speak too fast, because I'm aware I did that in the first one. If I speak too fast, please pop it into chat. Um, I'm on the PC, so I need to readjust cameras and stuff. So I realised I wasn't in, so I don't have an actual camera. So all the footage that I've got for the story coming out on Sam Hain's Scotland was filmed on my phone. I do have a cheapo digital camcorder thing that I've found. Um, Dusted it off and tried some of that, but I'm not sure of the quality on that. It says it's 4K Ultra HD, but I doubt it. It was something cheap I got a while ago for something else. So we'll see. I'll play about with that until I can kind of work out financing for um, buying new equipment and things. I think I'll stick with the phone. The phone footage seems to be okay. It seems to have worked out fine. The thing I don't have yet is mic. So I'm not on camera for this one. I have voiceovered it for this one, and hopefully for future ones I can then get a lapel mic that I can use. I'm not sure how the phone audio will be, and I don't want to give out something kind of half-hearted. Hello, Ryan. Welcome in. Hello. Uh, so right, where is it? Yes, I do. Pomp, good question. With me not putting um, any content out in the last week or so since the last live, I did have some stories I was working on before that for Halloween, but I now have two written that I plan on doing as a 1 hour special for Halloween. I don't think I'll go live. Everyone's going live And if I was going to go live on Halloween, I'd want to be out on location going live at Halloween. So that's not going to work with where I go. There's no signal. And to do that just on the phone, I think would be horrendous and it wouldn't work. So what I might do is some point on the 1st of November, which is Samhain. So we've got the Samhain Festival runs from the evening of the 31st, whenever the last day of October is. This is the 31st, isn't it? It's like the 30th. 31st. I was right. So Halloween for everybody else is when the harvest kind of festival for the Samhain festival would begin over into the 1st of November. So I might do something on the 1st of November. Um, I tried to get the day off work for the 31st for the Friday, and it didn't work. I couldn't get it. There was too many people wanting that day off because I was going to do something live, but testing out signal and stuff when I was up there at the weekend, it's not feasible. Not feasible. But yes, so there will be in some form there will be an hour special. So I've got 2 half-hour stories. I may edit them down slightly, but I'll have a look at them. One of those is um, based on I can't even remember the name of the movie. I think it was a Jack o' Lantern movie, something like that, where the scarecrow comes alive and comes out of the field, but not quite. There's a part. There's a part of the lore of the Gilly Do that I mentioned is about looking after the forest and stuff like that, and looking after the land. So it's kind of a twist on that, but with the kind of scarecrow Jack o' lantern looking after the field with a catch, obviously, with a catch. Um, so there is that. So that is upcoming. That is upcoming. I need to remember and keep an eye on chat. Right, so I know there's going to be a lot on in Halloween. I know there's going to be a lot of people doing stuff. So I wasn't planning on going live, but I don't know if how I would work it out on here if I put the stories up like I appear live like this, and then with the stories that might be beyond my capabilities. I don't know. Almost like a reaction video, but have the stories playing in the background, and I would still be live. We'd have a live chat, so that's a possibility. So I'll look into that. But again, I don't know who's all going live, and I think Paul mentioned there as well about a 24-hour live stream. I know that happens, so I'm not going to jump in the way of that and things like that for everybody else that does theirs. So, but there will be something. There will be something. At least if I put a story out earlier, people can watch it at their leisure. So if I do a 1 hour special, maybe do it as a, a premiere or a live reaction if possible. Then that might be a possibility. But at least if I don't do that and I just leave it as a video, people can watch it at their leisure. And then if other lives are on, they're not missing out. They're not missing out on a 24-hour live stream and all that kind of stuff that I know you all like to watch out on. So I may also find a way of getting in there and doing some stuff actually on the day. If I don't put a live out, I might still go out on Halloween to the forest and do something on the night that'll come out later on, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be live, but I'll record it on Halloween, maybe late on Halloween, getting into the early hours of the 1st of November. Um, not a not an investigation. I don't do all that kind of stuff. That's not me. I'm a skeptic through and through. But I'm open. I've mentioned this before. I'm open. However, I won't get into the investigation. It's not my bag. But I may go out and do a spooky story in the forest to record it for sometime after. I know it doesn't make sense. Um, if but at least I'm out on the Dolly. Hello, Phoenix Fireside. Hello, good to see you. And hello, Spange. Nice to see you in as well. I'm just making sure I've not missed anybody. See, other people make this look easy. Uh, I don't know how to sort the chat settings. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything being flagged this end. I don't know how it works for me this end. I would need to look at all that. So, what do you mean by flag? You can message me later on, Pomp, if that helps. Because I'm only seeing what the StreamYard one's got, and I'll need to figure out how to sort that out. So, what's everybody else's plans then for Halloween coming up? What have you all got plans? I see Crypt Walkers doing some decorations there. You decorating the place already? Yeah. So, also story wise, I have got a few ideas on for after Halloween. So I will have some stories up. It's just taking me all my time at the moment to get this one out, which will be done, and and I want to focus on that Halloween special because that's going to take a bit of editing because I'll need to put all that together. So if that's going to be 2 half-hour stories, it's going to take a fair bit of editing. Sorry, I'm just aware that I'm not sure where I'm looking. If I look right into the camera, but I'm also looking at the chat and I'm looking at the video and stuff like that as well. So it's strange. But if I look at it in the camera, then I'm talking to you guys directly. Then I don't see what's happening in the chat and everything else. But we'll get there. Uh, okay. So Halloween sorted. Um, I'm not one for decorating. I'm not. I've got my mask. I've also got my. I've just noticed. I've also got my Tim Tams. Uh, so I'll figure it out. What do you guys think? Put in chat what you guys think. I know there's a lot of things happening. Mad Paranormal Investigations, welcome in. Uh, Not sure who it is. Is it Michelle, April? But anyway, welcome into you if you're all hanging about. Hello. Yes, Sarah, the Tim Tams, I've still got some left. Um, the tea's cold now. I did put the tea out something like 5 to 8, so it's now 20 past, so my tea's cold. I forgot all about it. But so is that what it is? It's the X's it's not liking. Mm, interesting. I don't know. Well, I can sort that out at some point. I'll work it out. I'll work out how to get that sorted. The background, I did have a fire there, but I'll need to work out the images for that as well and get that sorted. Um, if I don't have the screen on, I'll need to tidy the living room. I'm a guy. I'm not tidy the living room. Um, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but I've got stuff lying in my couch from doing a washing earlier that I've not put away yet, so I don't want you seeing that. Or I would let you see the computer desk is in the living room because if I had it working from home, if I had the computer desk in the bedroom, I'd be tempted to lie in my bed and sleep instead of actually working. Because every so often I've got to wiggle the mouse or the computer goes. It's every 4 minutes. It's weird, just so that you're paying attention. So I need to wiggle the mouse, wiggle the mouse. So I need to stay awake. But so I have it in the. I don't always sit at the computer desk either. Sometimes I do sit in the armchair and just chill watching Netflix because let's face it, my job is so boring. And I can say that because nobody from work knows I do this, so there's not going to be anybody here on. But my job is so boring. Um, I only do something when the team need me to approve something that they've done. So, like today, there was like maybe 4 or 5 things throughout the whole day that I had to do, and it takes like 2 minutes to run my codes through the system to get their approval. Yeah, the joys of being a civil servant. Yeah, so the old Sam Hain is a civil servant. I'm not going to say what branch, um, just because. But yes, I'm a born old civil servant. I wasn't always. It's just the job I do now, for the pension. But we kind of do that. But what it does do, and this is why I'm glad there's no one from work watching, is it allows me to write. It allows me to edit and put things together. So the majority of this story, or all the stories, the majority of them were either written, a combination of all written, edited, everything done during working hours, like the Sarah lives that I'm in at 2 o'clock. Uh, I'm sitting here with my laptop on one side. I've got the PC here, and I can wiggle the mouse and watch. And so that's how sometimes I'm not in chat as often, because I need to monitor what's happening on my actual work screen as well. So I don't always get a chance to jump into chat, but that's what it is. So does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? Because I know I didn't get around to it the last time. I said to you I was all going to do uh, a Q&A for the 1 year live. So that 1 year celebration live, said I was going to do a Q&A, and I kind of missed any questions that folk were putting in, because I get so wrapped up on trying to do the live properly, uh, that I didn't get the questions. So if anyone's got any questions, file them in chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. Um, but yeah, it's strange. It's very strange doing this creating thing, not just live streaming, the whole creating thing. I know I've got a few creators in the chat as well, but it's uh, it's new territory. It really is. The whole thinking about, and it's different now that I'm doing the second channel as well. Doing the first channel was great. I could be anonymous to begin with, and just have the images on screen with my voice over the top of those. So I wasn't on camera. I got to do a couple of lives with Michael Burkeen. I jumped on a Mad Paranormal live as well, and had a chat with those guys. Um, and I thought, yeah, give it a go. But the whole filming, getting out there and filming footage for the thing you want to tell, is different, because you've got to think of, right, okay, what is my narrative? What is it that I'm wanting to tell here? And I did have the idea thrashed out beforehand, and I had a kind of script written beforehand. So I had an idea of what shots I wanted, what kind of footage I was looking for when I was out last weekend filming in Aberfoyle. And it didn't help, as I said, that the fact that just at the weekend there, and then into Monday, I then had this idea of adding more to the beginning. So that was excellent. I wrote that last night before going to bed. I wrote that all up, edited it all out, and I woke up this morning and I was thinking, that's great. You have added this information at the start to tell people about Aberfoyle, which was great. I think that was missing from my original script. But what I didn't do was, I don't have the footage to match it. So I've got some footage I can use and reuse throughout the video, but there's key parts, as I say, like the wool mill. Um, Aberfoyle was an industrial town way back in its early days. You're talking about the 1940s, 1950s. There was a quarry there, but I don't have footage of the quarry. The quarry's gone, but I know where it was, and I don't have a footage of the mountain, the hill that the quarry's. So I was like, that's great. You've done all this. You've given people the information, but they're not going to get to see it. So I might need to do that. I might need to do that. Um, and Susan, hello, Central Mass. Hello, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you in. Um, yeah, so it's I need to work things out better. Hopefully, this video will. I know I've been promising you this video for a while, but as I said, I wanted to get it right. Um, I don't like doing things by half. I like to have everything done and dusted and out there. But I'm hoping, if I after this live, because I was working on parts of it because I now need to move the footage. So I had it all set up. I had all the visuals tied in with the commentary, but I now need to move that because I've added this bit at the start. Who knew? Who knew that that was going to be a thing? Um, the camera shyness. I'm lucky in the fact that I'm used to presenting, maybe not on camera always, but um, I've always had in the past had jobs where I've been forefront presenting. They've always been training um, based, so I've always been training someone on something over the years. So I've always been in the forefront, being able to. It's different doing it on camera because I'm aware I can now see myself, and I don't like that, which is why I'm trying not to look at it. I'm looking at the chat, or if I look at the camera, then that's fine because I'm now talking to you guys directly. Um, so it's different. So it's having the bottle to suddenly press go live up there in the top, the your screen here, and know that whether there's somebody listening or not, you need to speak. So it's different. It is different. So I get that, Crip Walker. It's trying to go over that shyness. And you're right. You're very right. The community is the best. Um, and on that note as well, Mark's Random Curiosities. Good evening. Good to see you in. So on that note as well, I came into the the, the community via watching um, urban exploring videos, and then getting fed up with them because they were starting to get add in silly nonsense. Some of the ones that I was watching were adding things in. Suddenly there would be shadows moving and things like done that you never really done before, but now that's all your videos about. So I looked into why they were starting to do that, and that's where I found all the paranormal stuff and realised how big the these paranormal videos were. Yeah, Sam and Colby. Because I have admitted this before, I did watch them. I found Urbix Hill is who I started with watching, and through that, Sam and Colby, some place they jumped into to explore and get caught with the cops or whatever. Was a video that I saw of theirs, and then they started doing the um, spooky. What's that noise? And I thought, no, that's just a lot of rubbish. So I kind of started looking into it, and then that's when I started finding the bunkers and then the other parts of the community as well. So I kind of stayed. So you were stuck with me after that. I do. I am fascinated by it. I have described myself as a skeptic, but I'm fascinated by the possibility there could be. What if there is? You know, we've all had that something in the back of your mind. You're thinking, what really was that? But I've had a few things myself. I don't dwell on the paranormal because it's not what I do. It's not who I am. But having been in the community, I start remembering things from my past that I've questioned, and there's not been an answer for. So yeah, you do wonder. You do wonder. Um, you've got to wonder. You can't walk about life saying everything's black and white because it isn't. It isn't. Nothing's 100% this, 100% that. It's just not the case. It's not. So anyway, you guys know better than I do about all this stuff. So the community is what held me here. And I will say it. Finding Fantastic's channel in that community was absolutely fantastic. The chat that you get in there, it's crazy, Sarah. It is a little, but it's fun crazy. And it's why I stick around. It's why I'm willing to work at home the majority of the time I do work at home, but if I need to be in the office, I make sure it's not a Tuesday because I want to get into that live because it's hysterical. Even if I've only got it on in the background, it's it's brilliant to listen to. It brightens up my day. Because to be honest, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs. Uh, See, I'm getting used to this as well. I'm trying to keep up the chat. I'm doing my best. I don't think I'm that far behind, am I? Not really. 3 or 4 minutes. Uh, Sorry, I missed. I must have missed something. Do what, Terry? Was that do the um, on camera stuff? I do want to do the on camera stuff. I really do. I need better equipment for that. Um, I do have a selfie stick, which I was thinking in putting my mobile phone on to give me a bit more of a distance. But when I'm filming, I was aware when I was filming in the toss-ups or in Aberfoyle for the video that will be coming out. I will get this done. I will sit tonight and I will get the rest of this finished and I'll get it out. I don't know whether he's want it out. It's now the weekend. There's a lot of stuff coming out. I might save it and put it out as a premiere. Um, it was originally half an hour, um, but I cut a couple of things out, so I've got it down to under that. But I'm going to try and I've still got the end to add in, so it might just be around between 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. But I might put it out as a premiere because it's the first proper video on SamHain's Scotland. Um, we'll see how it goes. If I do that, I'll probably do it Monday because that's the slot I was using. But then there's a lot on Monday. The slot I was using on Monday, I'll maybe stick to that and try and get it out. Excellent. I need to breathe as well. I just get carried away. Yeah, you're right, Sarah. I do. I'm getting lost on trying to figure out what to say and kind of what topics to pick. I did write topics down, but I shouldn't stick to that. I should watch the chat and I should read that as well. Um, because it's great because everybody in the community's always got something, whether it be food, something they've done at the weekend, something they've seen. There's always a topic out there that folk will cover. Um, there is a lot of yeah, you don't. But that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it real fun, though. There isn't anybody nasty in there. There isn't anybody doing or saying things to um, poke fun. No, not poke fun. We do poke fun, but to be nasty to other people in the chat. Your mods are absolutely fantastic and would camp down and all that kind of stuff anyway. But it's a good safe place to go, a safe place for people to be. Um, but yeah, it's. I'm just reading through the chat here, folks, just trying to catch up a little bit. Uh, I will get better at this. Uh, yes, um, the second channel is probably more what I wanted to do originally with being live on camera. Um, the downfall I see with that, and it was with me adding in the new bit today or yesterday, but doing the audio for it and getting that finalized and edited today. But when I was writing it yesterday, one of the things I saw is I do have the next few videos planned of what I want them to be to link into stories that I've already got out or I'm thinking and now writing. So one will dictate the other. So the possibly the stories I'm putting on Campfire Chills will be dictated by the lore that I find, which they are anyway. But that will be the video, and it will link back to the story, the fictional story, because I know they are based on things that have happened in Scottish history and the lore, and the like the Gilly Do, the Bavanshee, the Banshee. Um, the stories are fictitious. So they'll be based in lore. The Gilly Do will appear from the forest if someone's harming it, that kind of thing, and I'll build a story around that. But the problem I'm seeing with that, there is a cracking one that I've done about a bothy and the Grey Man on MacDooey, Ben McDooey, and that's in the Highlands. That's in the Cairngorms. So the issue I've got there is travel for me. So yes, I would have the weekends because during the week is out of the question because I work. And by the time I finish work, it's a 3.5, 4 hour drive to the Cairngorms to even get to Ben McDooey. And I ain't the fittest of guy. I'm not climbing up. Ben McDooey's a Monroe. I'm not doing that. I am not doing a Monroe. Maybe if I get fitter, if I lose the weight and get myself sorted again, maybe. Um, but that's the only issue I can see with doing that channel is the stories I've got planned. A lot of the lore is Highland lore. Um, I do have family up there that I could go and stay with, but it would need to be a weekend, and it would need to be if he was available. There is a hotel that I use. This is my cousin whose wedding I was at last year, April. Um, and if he's not available, I do have hotels. But again, it's the expense. So I'll need to work it out. I need to work it because what I don't want to do is make it a generic stock footage and me voiceover because I'm doing that with the first channel. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can develop it, but um, that might mean the time between the story. If I can keep working on stories, I will. I'll add in random stories to keep you guys going on campfire chills. I don't want to abandon that. I love telling campfire stories. I always have. When I was doing my cadet stuff, I was round the campfire telling stories all the time. I love it. I love scaring people. I really do. Uh, so is that it is. Hello, Demo. Hello. you know, I'll put my hands up. I've not actually watched any of your videos in the last few days. I'm sorry. I've been busy trying to get things out for the second channel, making excuses here, Demo. I really am. And two, I haven't been well the last few days. I think I caught a bug. Unfortunately, with having Crohn's disease and the medication I'm on for that strips my immune system even further. So I catch everything going. So I think I picked up some sort of bug over either at the end of last week or into the weekend. Probably out filming for this thing. Um, so I wasn't up for the task. Which is probably why this video is a bit late in coming out anyway. Uh, so lots of ideas. So Sarah, yeah, I think I will start doing polls in the chats as well at the beginning. Um, this is only my second live, and I'm hoping to pick brains of the people in here that do it. You know, so you've got yourself, Sarah, you've got Susan that was in there, you've got Laura that was in. You know, um, you've got the mad paranormal folks that are in. Um, it's finding a way. I should probably message you guys and see if you're up for if I message you, just give me a few tips and hints. Anything that I can get is will benefit me and you guys in the long run when I give out better quality um, content. Um, wisdom music in the house. Hello. See. I love that I figured out how to do this. That I can put things on the screen. I'm a simple lad. I'm a simple lad. Simple things amuse me. I love it. I love it. So good to see you, Wisdom. Uh, I know it must still be early for you guys as well. And again, unfortunately, I could do later ones. I know other people go later as well, but with me having to be up early, well, let's thrash it out. You guys know I do very little when I'm working. Uh, I set my alarm for something like 7. I don't need to start work till about 9. I can start work at 8 if I wanted to and finish early, but then that gives me extra time in bed. So the reality is, I set my alarm for 11. So F for 7. Sorry, 7. I don't set it for 11. That'd be too late. I think my boss would phone. So I set my alarm for 7. Uh, Sometimes I'll get up and I'll have a cup of tea, but I'll go back to bed and I'll lie and I'll pull the covers, especially in this weather. I'll pull the covers over me again. So the reality is, I usually get out of bed, quick wash, changed, and log in for 9. So I get out of bed at 10 to 9 in the morning. And I log in, work, and I'll say hello to the folks, ask them if they need anything, check my emails, and then I'll go for a shower. And no one's any the wiser. But I can't leave home. I'm glued to that computer. I've got to be there in case there's an issue, if anyone's got a problem. Our job, you don't really need to be in the office, but that's not what they want to hear. They want us in. So the rest of the guys are now in 3 days a week, and I'm still in. I do once a month in the office to do my duty manager shift, where we're in till 6:30, last people out, and then everybody else goes home. But it's about half an hour drive away from where I live, so it's not that bad. And by the time I finish work, Then I finish work 6:30, usually out the building for not long after that because we start clearing the building early, you know, actively encouraging people. Wouldn't you like to go home now? Um, and then we can get out. I'm going to have a sip of my cold tea. It's lukewarm, so it's not too bad. Um, so weekends would be the only time I would have that would allow me to travel, and I will travel, and I will get the stories done, and I will appear on camera because I've got this whole idea in my head of the kind of documentary style, me being the presenter out there. Not that I've got any visions of being, some sort of Weir's Way. If anybody from the UK old enough to remember Weir's Way, who Tom Weir done the old Monroes and stuff way back when I was a kid. That's who we watched. But I do plan on doing that because I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. Put on my best David Attenborough voice. Um, so I I'm looking at things like that. So the picks, going back to the picks and things like that as well. So I want to do some stuff on that. There's the Vikings coming over and the Viking raids and things. So there's areas I can go where there are whole museums and things set up for that. But yeah, these are things I want to start looking into as well. Um, I don't know. It's strange. Where do I take this channel? Where will I take this channel? Uh, I don't know. Sorry, I was reading chat there. Um, I might have done something wrong there, Mad. I'm not sure because when I first logged in, it didn't quite work. So I don't know what I don't know what I've done. I'm going to check the link out just now. Yeah, it might be whatever I've done. Bear with me a second. Yeah, so that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Was the buy me a coffee thing. Um, it was suggested by another creator that I watch. Um, they were doing an anniversary live a couple of, I think was it the day after mine. So Shep and Sue, you may have seen Shep and Sue in here a while. So them and actually Mad themselves had said to me, I should maybe try to give that a go. So I don't know. I tried it because it would help with fuel for going out and getting um, the footage, heading up to the Highlands, cover costs for that and things like that. But I feel awkward about doing things like that. Um, I don't know what's going on with that. Let's take the pinned message off. I don't know if that works. I don't know how I do that for there, but anyway, I'll see if I can sort that, Mad. But thank you anyway for thinking about that. I don't know. I would get all flustered right now trying to do it this way because I've not got a clue what I'm doing right now. If I do that. Um, bear with me a second. I'll try and sort this out. So there must be somewhere that I can get. Where did I find it last time? Nope. I'll figure that out. There is in my post section, in the YouTube page, in the post, there is the QR. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can put that on here. Uh, I will work this out. You're seeing me learning in real time here, um, which is why these lives are good, I think, because I've got you guys in the chat that can help out and kind of give me these hints and tips. Uh, you'll see me flounder for a wee while I try and work this out. Where did I find it? I don't know. I don't know. We'll work out. We'll work out. I can't remember where I got that link from the first time round because I'm anyway. It is what it is. But so yeah, that's the whole idea behind that as well. Having that in there. It's entirely up to you guys. I'm not going to punt it too often. I thought I'd give it a go, and we'll see how it works. Because this channel, none of my channels will probably ever get monetized. That's not why I started it in the first place. I started it to give me something to do now that I'm, you know, since I retired from the Army Cadets. It was to give me something else to do in the evenings as well, and encourage me to get out and get fit. Um, Mystic Nemo, no, I haven't. I haven't been to any of the islands. Shameful, I know, but I've not managed to get to any of the islands. It's on my bucket list is to visit the islands and things. Um, so hopefully one day I'll get to Orkney. I also hope to get Skye. Skye is one of the most accessible ones that I could probably have been going to many times, but haven't. Um, I know, shock horror, Terry. Exactly. You would think a guy like me would get out there and see it, but I spent most of my time on the west coast of Scotland. 'Cause I'm from this area of the west, over, and traveling up to uh, like Glencoe and areas like that, and camping a lot of those areas, and loved that. That's where I used to go as a kid. Uh, and yeah, never ventured to the islands. The cousin who I've mentioned a few times, who moved up to the Highlands to a place called Strome, which is where we were for the wedding, and the on the Samhain Scotland banner on the page, that's the ruined castle they got married in that I used for that. That was my photograph that I used for that. From there, it's literally across the new bridge into Skye. It doesn't take long at all because my cousin, his name's James, so he moved up there. He has a podcast. He's his own podcast as well, the Fly Fifer. So if anybody wants to go and check him out, the Fly Fifer, and he just talks about loads of stuff. Um, and he ran a skate business as well. So he ran a roller skating disco company. He had all the stuff to take out. So he sold all that to move up north, to the Highlands, and he's always been on at me to get up there and go over to Skye with him and do stuff. So he now is a host on Radio Skye as well. So it's like I think it takes him maybe half an hour to drive across. I might be underselling that, it might be longer, but it doesn't take him long at all to go over to Skye. So if I can get myself up there and then it's a hop, skip, and a jump across the Skye, why am I not doing it? I don't know, procrastinating. Um, but someday I will. Someday I'll go over there. Um, and again, it's the kind of the touristy thing, isn't it? You know, I never consider myself a tourist. Um, and when you go to these places, it is full of tourists, and you just don't want to be um, lumped in with them. Being a Scot, you know, you want to be able to go and enjoy parts of the country without folks say, "Ah, there's another tourist." But then I speak, and everybody knows I'm a Ouija, and that's a different kind of reason to drum you out of the place. But yeah, I will try and solve it. I don't know if I've taken that off a chat now. Maybe I don't know. I'm losing the plot. I should organise these things a bit better. But again, been another ramble. But the more I practice this, the better it is, and it's great having you guys in and being able to chat. You know, um, Ghost Wiener in the house. Hello, Ghost Wiener. Yep, it's a prices, and even for me driving over, it's then accommodation because the bed and breakfast, all these kind of places, they're all extortionately priced because they're priced for the tourists coming in. You know, for the tourists coming in, and they're overly priced. You know, so it's difficult. I do wild camp, however, I'm getting a wee bit old and long in the tooth for that kind of stuff as well. But we'll see how it goes. I need my creature comforts these days. Um, lots to think about. Lots to think about. That's a good question, Wisdom. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but Nick has asked me to do something for him. So maybe not so much as a collab, but I'll say do an introduction for something he's working on. So I don't want to take that away from him, but yes, there could be something else in the works on that one, without a doubt. So I'm leaving it. I'll wait for him to be ready to do that. He'll send me what he needs. I'll do my bit and send him a voiceover over, and hopefully get that done. It won't be a collab in the sense it'll be. It's just me doing something for one of his videos. But yes, so there is something else in the works for that. Um, and I'm looking forward to it. I quite like that. Quite like the idea of um, people going out there and wanting me to join them in their lives and do stuff for the video. I mean, the whole idea of the collab was mixed to begin with, and I thought, well, uh, you're a much bigger channel than mine. Why do you want somebody like me? And that I was blown away with that. To be honest, I really was. Script Walker, Crypt Walker. Sorry, it was good to see you. Glad you could make it. Have a good one, and we'll catch up with you on another live. Um, and also on that note as well, um, a suggestion from Pomp. I made this a catch up chat, so why don't we do them maybe twice a month? So every second week. That way, I can keep everybody up to date with stories that are being written. Maybe get you in on coming up with ideas for the stories. Have a viewer led session where you guys can come up with characters. You guys can come up with um, a concept. Doesn't always need to be about Scottish lore. Remember, my campfire stories, there are sections in there which are just straight out a scary story I wanted to tell. So it doesn't have to be about Scottish lore. It's all about Scottish lore just now because that's where the bulk of the ideas have come from, and I wanted to do something on that. So we might look at that. So look out for. I maybe put a poll in the post section to do something on that. Um, Thank you, Mystic Mimo. Thank you for that. I I don't know. I do these things for fun. I do it because I like it. I just don't uh, blow my own trumpet. I don't like to like. I was amazed that you guys actually watched the stories and the comments you guys put in when the first comments and things came up. I was like, these folk are just being nice. They're being nice, but these are constantly being nice. Um, have a good one, Mad Paranormal. It was really good having you guys here. And hopefully I'll get on your live on Sunday because I missed Sunday there. So have a good one. Catch us all later. Um, but yeah, the collabs are good. I really enjoy it. I enjoy doing the stories. You do kind of get a kick out of it when people write nice comments. And to be fair, I don't really care if people write bad comments either because I don't care. I'm 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 a Glaswegian guy. You know what I mean? We're like, right, whatever, mate. That's fine. Cool. We have Scully Pop in the house. Hello, Scully Pop. Nice to see you in. Good to have you here. Um, yeah, I just find the whole thing strange that people want more stories. I'll give you them. I'll give you them, but um, I definitely didn't want to go down the road of being a total anonymous channel and have everything AI generated, which is why I wanted to do my own voice. Yes, in the earlier stories, it is my voice. In fact, there's a couple that are straight my voice. The one you hear now without putting the deep tones on, Sam Hain. But I have played about with the reverb slightly on some of them, and I had a cheap mic uh, and set up then, and the sound quality isn't great because I was going for that raspy as per the Sam Hain origin stories about him being reborn from the fire. So I wanted that raspy Scottish lilt coming across, and I don't want it AI. I was annoyed in the fact that my original idea hasn't come over because I need to do I didn't have the equipment to go out there and do the live broadcast of me sitting around the fire, or even videoing myself sitting around the fire to put up in a video later on, which is what the original idea of the channel was me going out there, pitching my tent, building my campfire, and telling a story to the camera around that setting. That's what it was. That's what the original idea for Campfire Chills was. And as I said, equipment being an issue. I wanted to get the channel up there, out and running. Not having the equipment held me back. And then I started generating the images and just doing the voiceover for that. I think it works at the moment. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll get back to that. We'll see how it goes. But I want to focus on um, getting the live footage for SamHain's Scotland and get those videos up and running. And at the moment, keep doing the animation style. If only I knew animation, I'd love to have it like a cartoon and live action stuff like that. But too many ideas, not enough talent. But we'll see how that goes as well. Um, Thanks, Dragon Ranger. Thank you. I don't even know where. I just played about until I found something that I liked and worked, and I think that was the best way to do it was the images. Um, Sometimes I feel that I'm too image heavy, and it may take away from the story itself. But then if I leave it just the one frame, the one image, then it might be boring. There's not enough changes on screen because you know when you look into all this kind of stuff and what the algorithm says and what the all these gurus all say. And I did study audiovisual technology way back. I had an interest in video and video editing and stuff like that when I was 19, 20 in college. So that's where the ideas kind of still come from that. I still wanted to be into that side of the business, but it never happened. So this is my comeback at the age of 52. Um, well, 52 soon. uh, is to get into that world that I started off. I had my own video camera, I had my own editing suite at the age of 19. I developed my own photographs at that age. I was well into all that stuff. I had my own darkroom in the house as well. Oh, and then from my early 20s onwards, I kind of threw it all away and went down a different route. Not in a bad way, just by the age of 21, 22, I was teaching outdoor stuff. And at 23, I'd first gone over to the States to teach over there and to do camping and outdoor stuff over there. So that's kind of the way things went for me. And the video side of things, after finishing the college course, I never done anything with it. I eventually sold all the equipment. I might have my first 35mm camera kicking about somewhere in my dad's house, which was was an Olympus OM10, and all the lenses and everything. Um, the my Sarah, my darkroom stuff, the projector, all the trays, are all still in storage in my back of my dad's house. He's got a big brick outbuilding, and it's all in storage in there and it's been there for about 30 years. Um, Honestly, because I used to use that old brick building as my darkroom at the red light. Had red light fitted and all that. I had an intercom fitted to the house in case anybody came visiting and stuff like that they needed me. So that stuff's all there, and it's probably antique by now, to be honest. But so I've still got all the equipment for that. The video editing stuff. So I sold the video editing console, sold the camera, or the boom mic that I had. Have I still got the rifle? I might still have that boom mic, the rifle mic. I might still have that somewhere, but I think I sold it all. But so I did have all that stuff and then sold it all. Um, so these days, this is me making the comeback. And again, I'm blaming my my cousin. 'Cause it was him that reminded me a while ago before he moved up to the Highlands. He came visiting to let me know that he was moving up there, and kind of before he'd done the big move, came to speak to me, and it was him that brought it up. He was like, "Did you not want to do something with video and cameras and stuff like that?" So this was last year, year before maybe, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right, I did," and I kind of let that go. He followed his dream. I let mine dwindle away, and followed another one. Aye, but anyway, I think I've rabbited on long enough. I don't know who else is going live. I don't know, Sarah, are you having a live tonight at some point? Um, so I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I never thought I would talk this long, but when I come on, I never shut up. I was the same in the live. I never shut up. Um, but I will let folk go. Um, I don't know if Sarah's going live tonight, so I know everybody in this chat is all in Sarah's chat. I don't think I've got anybody here that's Leanne. Hello. I don't know if I missed you earlier on, so my apologies for that. I apologise. In fact, one of the things I follow before I get into the paranormal, I followed a whole host of different things on YouTube. I've been watching YouTube for years, um, and never done anything about it. But I'm a car enthusiast. Um, I drive a wee two-seater sports car. Midlife crisis, I know. But I follow a car channel, and last week they followed me back, and that was bizarre. I'm in this guy's chat and in his comments all the time, and I love his channel. I love what he's doing. He's an American lad. I say lad, he's roughly about the same age as me, I think. And he's fixing up a car for his son with his son, and I just think it's amazing. It's a nice wee American muscle car, um, and I love that. And all of a sudden last week I get a notification to say that they now follow me, and I was like, yeah. So Tom and Declan from Throwing Wrenches Garage, if you're watching this, thank you very much. I've still got your cap, your baseball cap. It still takes pride of place when I'm out driving the wee car. That goes on my head when I've got the roof down. So excellent. And I just find that bizarre. I find that absolutely bizarre that people are. I mean, things like we've got Sarah in here, fantastic publishing. We've got Laura, Rosside Paranormal. We've got Susan from Central Mass, Massachusetts. I can't say Massachusetts. I'm sorry. It's the exploding S's that I've got, and I think it's amazing that these guys, Scully Pop, is in here. You know, I follow his channel as well, so I think it's amazing that you guys are here following me. You know, wee guy for Glasgow. And when I say wee guy, I'm 5'6", so I mean wee guy. You know, and I just think that's awesome. So for somebody like Throwing Wrenches Garage is a channel that I've followed for a while, and it's bizarre having them follow you back. But hey, I appreciate every single one of you. Uh, I don't know. Do you want me to go a bit longer? Well, I don't know if I'm just talking rubbish. Um, I'm aware as well that lives can help with viewing times and things like that. My viewing times are or viewing hours are not the best, but I and that's my fault because I don't push things because I do it for fun. Maybe I should push. Maybe that's what I'm looking at now by starting to do the lives, starting to do these things. You know, I'm thinking maybe I could do something with this. Um, Thanks, Sarah. That makes me feel good. It's you haven't. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how any of the rest of you do it that do lives and things like that as well. Um, that Do you have a plan? Do you have things written down? Because I've got my wee notebook there that I wrote some notes on earlier. The same with the live, the celebration live. I wrote notes down, and it was trying to come away from that, not stick to that, because that's how I think I lost track of the chat last time. Is because I'd written my agenda, things I wanted to cover, because I was terrified of having dead air, and I didn't want to kind of lose people. And I had some rough notes about what I wanted to talk about tonight. Um, and yeah, I probably should focus more on the chat as well. And it's trying to get that coordination. It's trying to work that out. You know what happens. You know in the chat, um, and then that's it. it happens, and then I ramble, and then I lose track of what I'd actually originally spoke about, and then it'll come back to me later on, and I'll mention that, and it's in out of context by that point. I go through life as well. I'll do that with my staff, the team. I'll put something in our chat at work, and they'll be like, "Andy, what was that for?" I was like, "Oh, that was the thing I was talking about yesterday." And they were like, "Right, okay, maybe start with that." And I was like, "Yeah, you've got a good point. Remember when I said that yesterday?" So yeah, I will work more on the legends. Uh, thank you. Um, what I need to do is just get my finger out and finish this story. So I'll give you a quick heads up on it. It's about a minister, a Kirk minister called Robert Kirk, of all things. Um, he wrote a book, um, and it was all about exposing the fairy folk, and it suggested that they were walking among us. There was different types of fairies, not the fairies that everyone sees in the nice um, wee drawings, wee pictures, and things like that. But they were actual took human form and walked among us. So that was his theories, which was controversial for a minister. Now, I'm not going to give anything away. Don't go googling them. That's not fair. I'll get the story out, but effectively there was a bit of mystery around his sudden death and the things that followed, which I cover in the fairy tree, which is the gateway to the underworld, the fairy underworld. Uh, it's all covered in this, so I will get that out. I will finish working on it tonight, so I'll probably go in the next couple of minutes, um, and we'll see what it goes. I'm just looking at the time. I want to go a wee bit longer, but I don't want to keep you guys back. We'll see how it goes. Once you get bored, put in the chat you're bored, and we'll go. We'll go. Um, as I, as I said, I don't know who else is live tonight. I don't keep track of all that, unfortunately. I do look out for certain people, but I know Wednesday was kind of. Yeah, I tell you what, we'll do half an hour. We'll go to half past. How's that sound? So, that being said, thank you, Dragon Ranger. I'll go a little bit longer then. If you have questions for me, please put them in chat. I will pay attention to chat now, and we'll kind of do that. Yeah, it was a good point. I did have earlier on. I need to sit and work out StreamYard. I really do, because doing it 10 minutes before the live wasn't any good. I did have music playing, but it only went for about 10 minutes, and then it stopped. And I'm stuck with the. There we go. Seg's live at 10:30 and Laura at midnight. So there we go, folks. That's what's happening later on. So what we'll do then, I'll go till 9:30, and then that gives everybody a bit of a break to do whatever they want. And if you want to go there now, you can go just now, and I'll wrap it on for anybody that's left, and we'll play the game that way. Why not? Why not? So yeah, Wiz, going back to that, I don't know. I can't seem to get. There was a button on there that I could hit that would loop the music, but it stopped. So obviously it didn't work. So I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how I then get. Um, Mystic Mimo, if you're off, see you later. Thank you for coming in. It was a pleasure having you here as always. Um, so yeah, yeah. As I said, Dragon Ranger, I did. I put that. I hit the loop button when I started the music earlier, but it seemed to stop after 10 minutes. I don't know if I need to keep. So I had this on. I don't know what's happening with that. Can you all hear that? Can you hear that music playing just now? Because I'm only using the free version, I don't think I get. I can't add in my own stuff because I tried to add in my own video background because I wanted the campfire playing in the background, but I can't do that. I need to sign up for that. So I'm stuck with whatever free stuff they've got on. I did manage to get my own background on. So the kind of green type thing is the image I'd done for the 1 year live. So that's there. But I don't know how to upload other stuff. So at the moment I'm stuck with the choices that StreamYard are giving me until I can work out what else to do. I'll work it out. And that's where coming on these things and just doing that. Yeah, see, it said I could. I think their music doesn't last long, and then you loop it. But I might need to just go on and keep pressing loop, and hopefully it works out. See what happens. I need to stop saying we'll see what happens. Maybe that's my catchphrase. But all right, okay. See, I wasn't sure if I played anything in the background on the PC, if it would be heard, because I've got stuff in the PC. But again, I don't know how copyright free it is. It's some of the stuff I used on the videos, but it comes from the editing software I use, so I don't know if I can use it elsewhere. But it's something that I can look into, finding some royalty-free music and having that playing in the background. I would need to play with my mic settings because I've got that set at the moment for cutting out background noise. But these are things that I can work out, and that's why it's great having all you guys here in the chat, because it's finally a place I can ask you these questions. I don't want to do it in each other's lives, because that's just, I don't want to talk about my channel on your live. I'm never in your lives because unfortunately I'm in my bed. Or Sarah's live. I don't like asking these questions on there as well. And it's finding that, where do I do that? What space do we have where we can quite openly ask for help and stuff like that? So it's great having you guys on here where you can throw in hints and tips for me, because I'll try all this stuff out for next time, and hopefully produce a better live as well. I do want to work on the backgrounds, because I notice when I move, you can see wee bits of stuff on my wall. Discord, Sarah. Yeah, I'm the world's worst for opening up Discord, to be honest. When I go in, I've got my own Discord, and I am rubbish at keeping up to date with it. I really am, because Discord was something new to me. I'd never heard of that until I'd come into these chats as well. And yeah, I will need to look at downloading royalty-free music, because I want to eventually get my own music for the channel. I did play about with Suno for a wee while, but I'm rubbish at it. I'm rubbish at the prompts and stuff like that. Because what I want is, and I'm going to start this hopefully, hopefully start this with SamHain's Scotland. I want an intro that I use for each video and an outro that I use for each video, so that the channel theme is the same. So the videos might be different, but when the intro starts, it's a SamHain's Scotland video, and it's the intro for those videos. So it will be consistent throughout, and the same. Try and get an outro which will be the same, which may link into the next video, and will definitely link into the corresponding story on Campfire Chill. So that's the idea, and the same for Campfire Chill. I want eventually to have an intro, a set intro leading into that, so that it becomes more like a mini episode, like a fully polished production. Ideas, no talent. So I'll get there. I just need to find the time and do it, because I let too many things go at the one time. I've got a habit of starting an idea and then halfway through that come up with another idea and start to develop that idea, but not finish the first. I dabble in painting as well. I'm pointing behind me, but I've got this screen on, you can kind of see the stuff that's behind me. I get into acrylic painting. I used to draw and sketch when I was younger, and I used that as a tool when I worked with kids with behavioural issues. We used to sit and draw, and I used that as a tool. and a way to help them express themselves as well. I'd never painted, so when lockdown came along, I took up drawing again because I'd stopped that for years as well. Tried to get my hand back in, and decided to buy some acrylic paint kits to see if I could dabble in that because it was lockdown. I had nothing to do. I was working in a factory before that, which closed down, and I was left unemployed throughout the whole lockdown. And then working for the agency that I'm working for now, straight out of that. So it kind of worked out slightly, but it gave me time to develop some things. So yeah, I dabble in acrylic painting, um, and I draw and stuff like that. So, but I've got a bad habit of starting a project. Like I posted in Discord, I think I may have put it into. I put it in mine for sure, but I think I may have put it into Sarah's. The Raven pencil sketch that I've done, and the idea of that was going to be an acrylic painting, and I've still got it in my sketchbook. So I've got that here, my big sketchbook. Hopefully you can see that. So that, not very much of that you'll see from there, but yeah. So that's the sketch. Look at that. But anyway, so that is supposed to be at some point turned into an acrylic painting. I done that last month sometime, I think, and I've not got around to doing that. Again, I keep doing stuff and not finishing it. But okay, sorry. Let me go back to that. Oops. There we go. That one I was looking for. Thank you very much. I didn't want to do stuff like that. You know, I know you guys do your own stuff, and I don't want to keep pulling people away for doing that. But it's trying to come up with the idea of. I don't know if any of you have seen some of the recent stories on Campfire Chills where I've started to use a Celtic style bagpipe drone. It's kind of haunting as the kind of start and the lead in to it. So something like that, something that says something that's got the Celtic tie, the Scottish tie, and eerie at the same time. I know it sounds like I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I want something that's got that kind of horror, chilling, but Celtic feel to it as well. Something like that. We'll see. The stuff that I use just now comes from CapCut. It's from their free library that I use, and it kind of works at the moment. I want to develop something that's, and as I did mess about with Suno, but I'm rubbish at coming up with prompts and all that kind of stuff, as I said. So I don't know. But I need to work on. I'm going to work on the visuals. I've got ideas for, like just using the channel like ident to lead in as the kind of visual. So I'm going to work on that. Once I get that, I'll probably have a better idea of the music. And the same way SamHain's Scotland, I want a set video intro to that. I've got ideas for that. I need to get out filming it, so I'm just kind of going to wing that to begin with. Eventually, I'll get the stories out that I want, the way I want. The first few are trial and error, like everything else, and eventually there'll be a polished product going out, which is a shame because they should all be like that from the start. But because I rush into things, I'm eager to get things out. And what I need to learn is how to come up with an idea, develop the idea, see the idea through to the end, and then move on. Yeah, Sarah, I'll need to look at that as well. I know you'd mentioned that once before, and I still hadn't got around to looking at it, so I'll need to do that. I will need to get in there and have a look and see what I can use there and play about a bit more with that. And as you say, it's safe to use because it's YouTube's. You're not going to get copyright claimed on it or anything like that, which is fantastic. But thank you. As I said, I never thought I would. I never thought it would last a year. 'Cause I never thought the stories would take off. And then when they did start taking off, and people did start, and I don't care if it's one or two, it's that means I need to do another story. And I think I was getting myself caught up a little bit uh, initially in having a story out every week. I think for the first few stories, I already knew what I wanted because it was my stories that I told for years. So now all I was doing was putting them down and writing, and then figuring out how to get them onto YouTube as a video. Um, so the ideas were all there, the stories were all there. As it grew, and I then had to develop new ideas, new stories. I think that's where I started piling on more pressure because I wanted to do a weekly story, but I don't have, I'm not a practiced, polished author. Um, I've just got a great imagination, and I just need to be able to work out getting it down onto paper and out. And I was trying to rush it, so writing it, and I do have ideas going from way back, when I first started the channel. So ideas wise, I think I'm okay with that. I just need to develop them into stories, and I was trying to rush to do that, get it written. And sometimes I wasn't fully feeling the story by the end of it. Chit, hello. I was actually talking about you earlier on. I took up your idea about the buy me a coffee, but I don't think my link works. I don't know what I'm doing wrong when I put it into the chat, but so thank you for that. I've given that a go. So yeah, I think it was the pressure of wanting to get content out on a regular basis because that's what YouTube and everybody on YouTube wanted you to do. That's what they tell you. You've got to be consistent. And I think there is something in that. You've got to be consistent for the viewers. And in a sense, that's okay if you're doing something like this. But that might just be me being still new at it. But if you're doing a piece to camera and you know what you want to talk about, I think it's slightly easier because you're just going on camera. Yes, you script it and you still produce the video in the same way. But I think it might be easier because I'm having to then write a story, try and script it to make it work for YouTube, get it more to fit with the SEO, find the visuals for it, find a description that works, find tags that work, all that kind of stuff, and try to do that for the following week after having just done a story. I think I was burning myself out over that for that first year. And yeah, it was, I think it is adding to the stress, but I love it though. I love the idea of doing it. All right, so it works if you copy and paste dragging. Okay, excellent. I will do it. So, Sarah, you had said that to me, I think it was, right at the beginning when I first had the channel up, and I think when you'd first seen some stuff about the quality. I kind of lost track of that slightly, I think, because I then fell into the trap, as I said, about wanting more things out. Because that comment kind of resonated with me as well, saying, you thought my videos were, the quality was good, lacking slightly because I was inexperienced and I still am inexperienced. But yeah, I think I need to get back to that, work on it more. I was more worried that I would start losing people because I wasn't putting things out on a regular basis. But I'll need to get back to that. I want to get back to that. I want to get back to taking my time, getting the story I want. I really do enjoy putting the video together. I think for me, that's one of the best bits. It can be frustrating at times finding the right image to fit what you're trying to get across, and the fact that it's all still images. I still haven't got the hang of animating a full video. I'm working it out now. There are bits and pieces of editing tricks that I'm picking up over time. Eventually I'll get there. Eventually I'll be better, I think. And that was always my goal, was to put out quality videos. because that's what I want to watch. I want to watch something quality. I don't want it to be amateur. I am amateur, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, I was losing sight of that. I think Dragon. I don't know. Am I allowed to use your real name? I don't know. I know it. I do know it because we've had a conversation a few times in the past. Um, but yeah, so I kind of lost sight of that slightly. Um, More worried that if I didn't put a video out, people wouldn't come back to watch. They would lose interest. Because I think in the beginning, things like that were happening. As I was watching, I'm like 15 to 20 subscribers. I'm thinking, that's brilliant. Genuinely did not expect to have 20 subscribers. And then you would go on the following day and you're down to 18 from 20. And you're like, well, what did I do wrong? What went wrong in that video? How has that not taken off? I've got one video out there that was 135, 165 views. One video. The rest of them are like 30 views. I don't know what I've done right with that video. How that video went out to 135 or whatever it is people. I think it's 165 views it's had. So that was like maybe the fourth video I made, the fourth story that I put out. And I don't know why. That's why I've changed back to doing the darker thumbnails, because that was a darker thumbnail. So a really dark image, like the one I've got behind me, with just a bit of colour, like the lamp there, the fire that I'm hiding. And it was just, and I tried to replicate that, and I haven't been able to yet. I tried changing the fonts. I tried changing. I've gone back to doing simpler fonts again. I've since learned that less words on the screen title. I was putting up the full name of the story. Maybe I should rename the stories and make them shorter. And only have 4 or 5 words on screen. Things like that. Yeah. Okay. Yes. That was. I know I did a chat with you a while back about this as well, or brief comments a while back with you as well, Shep. The aim was to do the stories on location. And I don't know if you were in earlier when I said I do have a second channel now, SamHain's Scotland, which is going to be on location, in person. Not the first video because I don't have the video equipment yet to do that. It's just my phone. I don't have the audio equipment to do that yet. And I wanted a better quality audio for it. But the original SamHain campfire chills was to be sat around the campfire and doing that. Once I get myself a decent video camera, that is the goal. That is probably how SamHain's campfire chills will be from then on. I'd hope to have been at that point now. I just keep spending my money on stupid stuff. I really do. When I say stupid stuff, I mean things like food. But no, it's always been my goal is to be me. Well, to be SamHain, and I think I showed people this before. But this is who SamHain is. So that's my image of SamHain. So this guy, right? This is the sackcloth wearing guy that's supposed to read the stories. And I don't know if you can hear me through that. So I don't know. These were all ideas I had in the first month. When I first started the channel, I like to write everything down. And I had this channel, SamHain's Campfire Chills, storyboarded out in my head and then on paper of how I wanted it to go. And then when I started doing the first story, I realised I can't achieve that yet. And then I just get into the way of doing things easy by just writing the story and doing the visuals on AI. I use Canva. Some of the original ones were from my own photographs pieced together. But yeah, I will get out and do it. Not the best time of year now to start. Well, camping season's out, so the idea of pitching a tent, I can go out locally probably and build a fire somewhere. But a lot of the places that I go are overrun by ne'er-do-wells at night, even out in the country. We have a local park called Mugduck Park, which appears in one of my stories, which I want to get back to for the SamHain's Scotland as well. That's not far from me. And do some videos. but it's famous for dogging at night. So I don't know. The main centre has a car park that closes, but there's some car parks further off which are open, and trails that lead from those car parks into the main area that's the car park's closed off. And it's notorious for certain groups of people who like to be in bushes, So I try to avoid that place at night, which is a shame because it's a lovely place. It's got lovely trails. I used to camp there quite a lot, and as long as you stay around the campsite area and don't wander too far, you don't get into trouble. But that's where I used to take all my cadet groups camping, and we'd sit around the fire, and I'd tell them stories about the area they were in and terrify the life out of them. The mugged up castle, about the hauntings there. There was an old ruined manor house just off to the side. I would take them to it, walk them to it, and tell them the story standing there. They're looking at this ruined facade, and I would tell them a ghost story connected to that thing that they're looking at. I would then take them to, on the same area, there's another story. So it's all going to link back to when I do the mugged up part. But so another one of the campfire chill stories mentions the World War II gun battlement that were up there, and the story tells about devil worship groups taking over it and things like that. So that's all tied in. So I used to take the groups to there and sit them in the bunker and tell them that story in the bunker. So these are all things I wanted to do on the channel originally. So I will get back to that, and also possibly, I don't know about doing camping videos. Lots of people that are more qualified than me do camping videos, where they go out camping and they teach you how to light fires, they teach you how to cook, how to catch stuff like that. I don't consider myself qualified enough to do that. I have taught it many years ago, but I was never a survivalist. I was an enthusiastic camper. I was taken out by family as a kid. We always went camping as a young kid. I had an uncle in the reserves who used to take us out and teach us stuff, and that's where I get my love from. And I've always passed those skills on. And yes, I may have picked up in-house qualifications over my youth work career, but these guys that do the proper videos out there, I couldn't cope. I couldn't keep up with them. I couldn't do that, what they do, because people are quite happily sit there and pick up on the mistakes you make. But what I can do is I can go camping and video that as a camping video, lighting my own fire, not necessarily teaching how to do it, but lighting my own fire, cook my own meals over the fire like I used to, and tell a story. That would be the ultimate for camp. I can't even speak. SamHain's campfire chills. That would be the ultimate. Alright. So I'm aware I've now gone past that extra half hour. So well, I could look at that as well. There's a lot of ruins. So there are some ruined places I can get into, because they don't, in Scotland we have the right to roam, as long as it's not a closed off area. Like that mugged up castle, we can get into that at night, so we can do stuff there. There's a few other ruined. The manor house that I was talking about that's next to that is a no-go because that's fallen apart and it's been fenced off for years. But there are places I could go with it, and set up a fire. But I don't think there's anywhere I could go that would have period furniture without having to pay for it, and sit around the old on a rocking chair with the old crackling fire in the background. But these are all possibilities. These are all things I can look at. So hopefully that's given you all more of an insight into what my plans are with both channels, and hopefully we'll get that up and running. So now I will bid you all good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are, and I really should get on with finishing this video for you. So it'll be Robert Kirk and the Fairies is going to be the title, and it'll be on SamHain's Scotland. Feel free to check it out. I have linked the channel on my channel description for this channel, so each channel is linked to each other, and I will work on it, and I'll make you a promise. I will have it out on Monday. Okay, I will have it out on Monday. There's a solemn promise from me to you, from SamHain's to you guys. SamHain's Scotland video, Robert Kirk and the Fairies, will be out on Monday. I will notify you of the time, and I'll try and do it as a premiere. I'll need to watch my timing because I don't want to take over Justin's spot. I've been going about 6 o'clock, so 6 o'clock UK time. I think it might be roughly 10 a.m., 11 a.m., depending where you are in the US. So I'll keep you up to date with that on the chat, in my post on the channel on Discord. And once again, thank you all for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I will do more live updates. So thank you, folks. Have a good one, and don't get scared.